It's Thursday. Come on in, you guys. Come on in, sit down, have a seat. Oh, I think I just made noise on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry about that. I hope everything is okay. Yep, I think my mic is working. All right. Good to see you guys. Jump on in. This is our daily insertion of Let's Chat Insulin Resistance, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if I'm not here, it's a holiday or I am out of town. We've been doing this for like a year, a year and a half, but it's been a little bit more. Okay. It's been a little bit more. And for the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And by the way, if you want to get in there, that's perfect. Just give your email address to get in, right? No bots allowed. And I have to have a way to communicate with people because Facebook notifications are really silly. But anyway, my point being, we've been doing that free 5-day challenge for over 2 years now. Like we just had our 28th one. So all right. And I was going to get my banner done yesterday for the October one, and I didn't, so I'll get it done today. All right. Good to see you guys. I want to talk very specifically today about you have to stop believing a certain lie, and we'll get into it. Just hold on to your hats because you have to begin to deal with your insulin resistance now before holiday weight gain hits hard, gets hard. Like, I think that we are under some sort of a delusion that when we are insulin resistant, we can just lose weight like everybody else, just like that. We can just figure it out. Like if we just, whatever we do for the holidays, oh, no big deal. As though we're talking addition when we're actually we're not talking about addition and subtraction. I know you want to think that in your brain. I really, really do. I get it. Nobody understands more than I do. I'm Italian. I get it. Good morning, Magda. Good morning, Patty. Good to see you. Sweetie Magda. Good to see you. And so we want to think we just gain pounds, add, lose pounds, subtract. That's what we want to think. That's not how this works. It's actually more about multiplication and division. And that's why it's harder. So like grace, right, on ourselves. But just know that if you actually get a jump now, you've completely shifted and changed the way that your January will hit. Your January 1st will be completely different. And I'm not talking about perfection. So don't get all messed up in your head. Don't be all like, I can't be perfect because neither am I. And so that I should give people so much hope. That's why I put my picture up here on TikTok because I should give people so much hope. Total sugar addict. I entered my 50s and I was just such a hot mess express. I didn't know anything of what I talked to you guys about at all. And so therefore I didn't apply anything that I talk about. I was just like, no, I'm pretty much not going to be trading out my foods. I'm pretty much not going to be doing much of anything. But this mom of mine is so annoying. Oh my gosh, she's so annoying. Kirsten, do you know where your sugars are at? Kirsten, I can hear her voice in my head. Now, since then, obviously, I'm the most grateful daughter on the face of the planet because I'm so happy she did. And we took care of her for 5 years with her dementia. So that was a hard season, but a gift to us. But at that time, man, I was just like, oh my gosh, Kirsten. I can just hear the conversation. Why am I not paying attention to my sugars and whether or not I'm thirsty or peeing or whatever it is? Because my dad was dead at 63 from type 2 diabetes. My whole life was all about type 2 and obesity. Like my entire Italian family was just large, right? And the one thing that I feel like I really want people to understand is that this is not a terminal diagnosis. Yes, he died, but it was never meant to be a terminal diagnosis. And so you can do something about it. You can shift the way that you're doing your entire life. So if you have a minute today, we'll chat about this and then we'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. So come on in, sit down, grab your coffee. I'm going to grab my water and we're going to chat just a little bit. And the beauty of all of this is that if you can wrap your head around a few pieces, it doesn't have to be a lot of pieces, just a few pieces, you can literally lose fat, burn fat in and out of holidays, in and out of stressful circumstances, in and out of a mother with dementia, in and out of I've moved, I've done it all. Oh my gosh, I've had so many things happen. Like we had to overcome major financial collapse from 2008. Oh, this is like falling down. That is so funny. Sorry, TikTok. Sorry. I should put a thing up just in case you come down again. We went through so many things. Sorry, TikTok. That was my hand. Sorry. We went through so many things during my 50s, but yet I still was able to lose 3 sizes, but it was not because I was smart. It was not because I had life figured out. It was not because I was some gym rat and I just couldn't wait to exercise. It was literally nothing to do with any of that at all. It's because I finally went, oh, wow, super interesting. Insulin resistance is actually the reason why my body won't burn fat. So let's go. Let's talk about it. So, I know that there are some of you that are out there, you're like Googling, 1 a.m. You're like, how do I get rid of belly fat? Like how come I have so much belly fat? How do I get rid of my belly fat? Like, this is horrible. How do I do this? Maybe you're waking up and you are anxious in the middle of the night. This is for you. And this is for any of your friends that are having these issues. And maybe you guys have been talking about them, when you guys get together. Inside of the matrix, they are giving you a plan for somebody else's body. Oftentimes, whether it's like a 32-year-old influencer or somebody who's not insulin resistant, or even, and I'm just going to say it because I'm not a doctor, but I can have an opinion. Even inside of the medical system, it's like they will give you information for, I'm sorry, they say that it's for you that's insulin resistant, but they're lying to you. They're just lying to you. Now, I'm not meaning that actual person is lying to you, because I would not know their heart, of course, right? But I'm just saying, that system is set up for failure. Otherwise, we would be in a completely different place. If they had been doing if this was increasingly getting better and better and better and better and better for the person who's type 2 or insulin resistant, we'd be getting better results. We'd be turning things around, and yet we're not. Isn't that interesting? How does that work? And if that is the way that we gauge success, why isn't anybody fired? A company would never allow such bad statistics. They would never allow somebody to have such poor information that produced worse results. And they go, keep on going. And then tell you that you're just well, honey, you're just eating more than you think you are. Oh, honey, you're just whatever. You just need to eat less, move more. So this is why I get so fired up, because it is so dang frustrating that we can feel like we're on this hamster wheel and nobody seems to have answers. So here we are, just you and me. We're looking into the future, and we're looking at the holidays straight in the eyes. We're kind of trying not to pay attention to all the Halloween candy on the shelves and all of that stuff, but we know kind of what's coming. We know it internally, right? In Minnesota, we can tell by the weather, it starts to shift a little bit. Actually, it's been gorgeous, but that's not the point. Little cooler mornings and things like that. We know what's coming. I just had this conversation. This is probably what prompted this whole thing. My daughter put into the family chat. She's like, okay, it's halfway through September. What are we doing for Christmas? Because every year we as a family, we choose an experience of some sort. And so you got to get on that stuff. Otherwise, tickets get sold out, whatever. And so we immediately jumped on that, and we were talking about it. And I'm like, I'm also planning a local, if you're in Minnesota, FYI, there will be a local wellness experience coming up in October. But so I'm already, because I'm in business, I'm thinking ahead, right? And right around the corner, we will have the holidays hit us. And I remember when I was working on changing out my foods, I was changing out my habits, etc. And I was a slow turtle. So don't ever be mean to yourself. Don't do that. I was very slow. But as I was doing that, the holidays would come and I would kind of feel that okay, here we go again. What's going to be different this year? And I never had a plan, and I never had a thought process. And now what I understand looking back is that when you're insulin resistant, you don't just add pounds and subtract pounds as though it's that easy. You don't just go, okay, so I gained 3 to 5. I'll just lose 3 to 5. It's not like that. Your body literally needs to get into a healing mode. I talk about the gut, the liver, and insulin all day, every freaking day with you guys. All day, every day. Gut, liver, insulin, because you need to shift how your body is functioning so that it can literally deliver you results, finally give you results. And if you don't do that, we're not doing add, subtract, add, subtract. I wish it was that easy, but it's not. We're talking more like multiply, and then we need to go into this healing mode. So you think what happens then is you barrel right into January 1st, and you think you should get to subtract like everybody else. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, this sucks. This isn't working. I'm not losing any weight. And your body's like, did you ever consult me? Did you ever ask me what I had to be able to do in order to give you that fat loss? Did you ever ask me? Because, honey, this isn't going to be a 2-week deal. So don't get the gym membership if that's what you think is going to fix you. I'm just saying, like, save your money. Put your money into better ingredients in your pantry, because that's not your fix when you're insulin resistant. Do I say no, not exercise? Of course not. That's ridiculous. I got up this morning and I took my walk. Loved every minute of it. It's so beautiful out. Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy. But I want to get out. I want to get sun on my skin. I want to like breathe some, supposedly fresh air in Minnesota. That's, controversial. I mean, I'm just saying. But anyway, so I'm not saying that, but I'm like, let's do this the right way. Let's set you up. Do you want to be set up just a little differently for the holidays? Let's go. Let's do this. I'm so excited. This is a very, very good topic. Good morning. Oh my gosh. Good morning, Ellen. Good morning, Joan. You hate that sentence, eat less, move more. Anne, you have no idea. It is literally a sentence that just throws me into a rant because it's a lie. And they marketed it. They like trademarked it and they put it on our health insurance. There's one of those little blue health insurances, like that's their slogan or something. I don't know. It's on the posters in the waiting room. It's a lie. This is not how insulin resistance works. So this is what we're working to fix every single day. And I'm by the cities. I'm actually in a suburb of Minneapolis. Where are you? Are you in Minneapolis? That's so exciting. Shirley, good morning. Shirley, who carries my mother's name. My mother's name was Shirley. We called her Shirley Girl. Shirley Girl. And after about 5 years of taking care of her with dementia, I had a friend that said, you should do a podcast called Shirley Girl, so that I could like talk about how navigating those waters. But it wasn't in my heart to do it. So we didn't. Good morning, Luana. Oh my gosh, you guys are all here. Okay. Well then, since everybody's here, let's dive in. So you know what? I stopped gaining and losing weight all the time. I stopped yo-yoing when I finally got my brain to wrap around this understanding. You will walk into a doctor's office and you could be type 2 and they're going to tell you that you can eat 45, 50, 60 grams of carbs per meal. No, you can't. Not if you want to get off meds. Not if you want to lose weight. No, you can't. Like that's the biggest lie. And that's coming from our medical community. So it makes us very skeptical, because if we were getting really good results after going to them for years and years and years and following their advice and taking the next script, we'd be happy. And then we'd be happy as we went back, instead of thinking, why is everything you tell me not handing me a result? So I was listening to a reel this morning by Dr. Ken Berry, Berry, and he was talking about, now he's carnivore. He really talks a lot about carnivore. I'm not carnivore, but I understand it. And he was saying, you know what? Your issues of not being able to, like if you have high triglycerides, it's overconsumption of carbohydrates. If you have insulin resistance, it's overconsumption of carbohydrates. If you like any of these issues, it's all the same answer. So that's why he just goes the opposite direction. And it's the same thing for you too. So when I teach two things. I teach food ingredient trade-outs and targeted supplementation for insulin resistance. And, like your insulin, when you keep handing your body sugar and processed carbs, like your cells get turned off. They close the door and your fat burning switch is completely off. And you're wondering why. Why can't I get this fixed? And if you barrel into the holidays without any kind of a thought process about the fact that you're insulin resistant, you are going to like amplify the need for a healing process. And then you're going to hit January and you're going to think that you're broken. Okay. So what I ended up doing was this. It took me probably 3 to 4 Christmases to really, and when I say Christmas, I just mean the whole season. Like, I'm a sweet person. You may not be, but I was excited about all candy from Halloween to Easter. Like, it all was exciting to me. And, that's what happens with us. We actually don't have, I'm convinced 100%, we don't have a cold and flu season. I'm convinced. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you, Crafty Reading. I so appreciate you. We do not have a cold and flu season. We have a sugar season. We have a lack of vitamin D season, especially here in Minnesota. Those are the seasons that we have. So what happens then is, if you are going to pile on the carbs, let's say you even start in October because you're going to a craft fair or a vendor show, or you're like having, you're going to have that Halloween party with your friends or whatever it is. And then you're going to barrel right into Thanksgiving and all of the pie and everything else. And then you get invited to this work party and you get invited to, this neighborhood, block party or whatever. And pretty soon you're like, just forget it because I don't have any plan in place. So I'm just going to throw it all to the wind and I'm going to deal with it in January. Well, by that time, possibly you have really even think about that. If they check your A1C every 90 days in the doctor's office, or if that's normal, which it is, that would be October, November, December. So what are you going to do during the next 90 days to change things? So the first thing that I did was I did not think I could trade out my foods at all. And so I've always talked about this. I had carb blocker in my pockets. You can always ask me about that, like behind the scenes. I had carb blocker in my pockets because it would block up to 500 calories of sugar from hitting my bloodstream when I ate. And I really did not want to deal with all the food pushers and the food bullies in my life. I had a lot of them, and people that just paid way too much attention to what I was eating or what I wasn't eating. It's like, like, well, what do you mean you're not hungry? Just have a little bit of this and have a little bit of that. And, manja, you're just supposed to eat. And so I kind of told nobody that I was doing anything. And I would just have carb blocker in my pockets because I would go to a social event and I'd be like, I feel like I'm good to go. Like, I'm fine. I'm full. Like, if I assessed myself before I left, it's like, yep, I'm good. But then you get there and you didn't know somebody was going to make that 7-layer bar, or you didn't know that whatever. And everybody's just having so much fun. And when you grow up equating happiness with food, that's the trigger, right? The trigger isn't the nachos. The trigger is the emotion that's connected to the nachos. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anybody? So having that was just my safety net. The second thing that I did was I started to learn how to pick out the best choices, not perfect choices. You won't hear me say perfect because you have to mitigate, and you get better at it all the time. You're learning a new language a little bit. You'll get better all the time. So what are the better choices? Well, so like if I go to a Christmas party right now or anything like that, it's like, if somebody has any kind of like a guacamole or whatever, but then somebody's also going to have a vegetable plate. I want that guacamole, but I know I'm not going to eat the chip. So I'm going to find the vegetables. I'm going to mix and match, and I'm going to pair things as best as I can, right? I'm going to look for things. I teach grain, sugar, and legume free, right? So that pretty much is our entire society. And so that can feel overwhelming until you've learned just one little recipe to put in your repertoire, one little thing that you can be like, an ingredient trade out, a pantry trade out, whatever. And once you learn those, you start to feel like you're just a little bit more and more and more able to identify and not live in confusion. And don't think that you're the only one that's confused about food. You are not the only one that's confused about food, because there is so much noise out there. And you just have to know that is like 96.5% of everything out there is not for the insulin resistant body. It's just not. And what happens is, because insulin is a fat storing hormone, your belly just keeps growing and your labs just keep tanking and your scripts keep going up and you're frustrated. Like I have so many conversations with you about how maybe you just came out of a stressful season. And remember yesterday, we really went through that. What is affecting, what is bringing, how do we get type 2 brought to the table? Well, yep, it is the overconsumption of carbohydrates, but then add in bad sleep, add in a lot of stress, add in tons of toxins. Like, this is a layered conversation. And so this is why then in the end, when January 1st hits and you're going to try to make your body produce a result for you, will you just remember that this was always a hormonal conversation, a cellular conversation, and a healing conversation? What did I just say? Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. My brain just kind of literally went like this. It is it's a cellular hormonal conversation, and it's a healing journey, like a healing conversation. And you have to embrace that in order to go anywhere. So I love it, like when Megda jumps on, because Megda has taken the last year. She's like on the second year of her journey, right? But she took a year. Like, stop thinking that you're back in high school again and you're going to lose 10 pounds for the dance. Like, get rid of that mentality and stop expecting your body to release fat every single week. Like, stop weighing yourself every 2 seconds. That's actually the third thing I was going to talk about. So I will do that. Oh, you're in Cleveland, but one of your best friends is in Minneapolis. I love that, Anne. I love that. That's fantastic. I know they don't make money off of us if we heal our bodies. That is correct, Lynn. They do not. Late to the party. Terry, you're welcome anytime. It doesn't matter. You're good. You are so good. And so the third thing that I did was I got rid of my scale. And I know that's really hard for a lot of you. I think that most of you do not take that advice. Most of you do not take that advice because it's really challenging, because it is. Thank you so much for like sharing, you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Because it's very ingrained in us. Listen, when I was a little girl, it was the TOPS, TOPS, right? And we've talked about this before. I can never remember what it stands for. It's okay. My mom went to TOPS. My grandma Fragali, Italian. Like, everybody was in TOPS. And then everybody was in Weight Watchers. And then everybody was in, like, you name it. And scale. Like, there's only one answer ever. How much do you weigh? What are your pounds? How much do you weigh? It's like beating a dead horse. Like, why are we still doing the same thing over and over again 60 years later? Why are we doing this when we can get such much better and different results for our bodies if we are insulin resistant and we begin to look at things through the lens of insulin resistance? Take off. I knew somebody would know it, Jennifer and Terry. Take off pounds sensibly. I don't know why I don't remember that. Take off pounds sensibly. When I got rid of the scale, what it did for me, and you don't have to, it's not required, right? But this is where I was. And so you have to decide on any given day, you're making the decision whether you resonate with me or not. And that's really, because I'm not for everybody. And I get that. That's totally fine. Kathy knows too. You guys, you're very learned. Oh my goodness. But I was basing my emotions on a number. And I was completely 100% basing my success on a number. And there was a part of me that really thought that I was never going to ever see certain numbers again. Like, I had told myself that that was a thing of the past. And so I had these huge limiting beliefs around whatever the number set on the scale. And not everybody is like that. Some people, they're really good with it. Patty says, been there, done that. And I'm grateful for all of you that do weigh yourself, because then you tell me your results. Like, if Terry never weighed herself, I would not know she lost 49 pounds in the last year. I would not know these things. But the scale can be very conflicting because there are many moving parts. Okay. So like I said, you need to support the healing and the sealing of your gut. If you don't have a gallbladder, you need to be focusing on your liver like all the time, even if you do have a gallbladder, because the two things that will keep you from fat burning are high insulin and a sluggish liver. So then why don't we have weekly meetings? I guess we kind of do here. Why don't we have weekly meetings talking about our liver function and paying attention to our liver function and our fasting insulin? Who's doing that? Thank you so much for the hearts. Cheryl in the house. Thank you, Cheryl. Why are we not doing that? Well, that's kind of what we do here, right? Except for without the labs, because I'm not a clinic. I'm not a clinic and I'm not a doctor. But you guys go out and you get your labs and you pull them in for me. And you tell me things like, I have an MRI that showed me that a year ago I had a bad fatty liver and now I have a mild fatty liver. Those are the results we're looking for. Because then as your body is healing, it will finally produce a result for you. It's not going to produce it in the first 2 weeks of January. You start your healing journey now, and then when you hit January, that's when everything gets exciting. Because what are you doing now 90 days before? I know that it's a challenge because we don't think that way. We are in a microwave society. Like, we want things to happen fast, and we don't understand why things don't just change from not only week to week. We want them to change day to day. Come on, scale. Why aren't you changing? We expect every 24 hours to be a success and a win according to a number. And it's such a bad mentality. It's like self-sabotage at its finest. Because then you're going to be like, well, and I just screw it. And then, you have permission. And it's just really frustrating. And maybe this is just me. I might just be talking to myself, and I'm okay with that too, because you never know who's going to resonate with what, right? But you can stop the repeated sugar taps, get rid of fruit juice, no sugared soda, like terrible, right? Start using sparkling water. Go get a Zevia. You can buy Zevia, which is like a stevia-based carbonated drink. Make sure you're getting all of the protein that you need. Today I had 2 eggs and 2 slices of my egg white protein bread and an andouille sausage from Amy Lou Costco. And I actually then had a Greek yogurt. So I ended up with probably almost 50 grams of protein after I went for my walk. And you know what? I'll just be full now for hours. I won't need to do anything. I'll be so stable. My insulin, I won't have needed very much insulin to actually take care of any of that spike. It'll be very nominal, and my body gets to stay in healing mode, and my body gets to stay in fat burning mode because I didn't push it out. Supporting your liver and your gut. I talk about that all the time. I actually don't know if I'm going to see here. One of the products on the one of the products in the Total Body Reset is actually, why does it do that? Is actually out of stock. It's on back order, but you can order it and they will ship it then when it's available. And it's the orange pixie stick. So if you guys know, if you know, about the orange pixie stick, and telling you, that is where the inches are lost. That is where, if you want to target your visceral fat, you already have a fatty liver. That is what you are looking for. So, all right. Well, I don't know why I did that, but that's okay. We're just going to. Did anybody see the new glasses that are being, they're being launched from Meta, from Zuckerberg? They are glasses where you can see all of the captions right in your glasses. Has anybody seen that? That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Well, tomorrow I'm going to make sure that I look at this before I jump on. So, because it just doesn't want to load. My site is kirstenliebelt.com, my first last name.com. And when I talk about how I started all of those years ago, you can always add in carb blocker if you want to, but I really did start, you guys, with just the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. I didn't do anything grand. I was still treating myself with sweet potatoes. The minute I understood that that's what I was doing and I changed it, things even went faster for me. But the point is that when you start to change the way that your actual internal engine is working, I was continuing to gain weight prior to starting this. My weight was doing this. And this is why my mother would not leave me alone. Sorry, Tic Tac, can't see that. I was going up and up and up until I was the 2X in size. And she wouldn't leave me alone. And it wasn't until I started supplementing that everything changed. And you can do the exact same thing. You can look at your holidays completely different and have a completely different result by January. I'm talking to you, Joan. We have focused on the external proof instead of knowing that it needs to be an internal health journey. Over time, it will show up externally. That is 100% true, Kathy. It is so, so true. And that's why it's like, and I know that I'm just a tiny, tiny little voice in the midst of this big sea of conversation. But the truth is that I think that at 60 now, I'm just really tired of Band-Aids. I'm so tired of Band-Aids. I'm tired of chasing. I'm tired of chasing. I got tired of chasing making money through corporate America. That was I had to stop doing that. I had to stop chasing things that were not bringing me joy, that were not helping me to be my best self. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but whatever. Now I get to work with women building business just like me. But it's like, I did not have joy in that. And I also had to stop chasing Band-Aids. Like, I didn't want to join another program. I didn't want to, this was me. I didn't want to go to weekly meetings. I didn't want to eat processed food, which is really strange. I did a lot of scratch for my family, but it wasn't the right kind of scratch. It was still a lot of white everything. But I didn't want to, I just inherently knew in my heart when I was buying those frozen prepackaged foods that had points connected to them, and I would count all my points, and especially I would make sure I always had the dessert ones in my freezer. I inherently knew that I didn't want to be eating frozen food the rest of my life. This is just me. I didn't want everything to come out of what is it Dr. Ben Bickman says, bag, box, or barcode. I didn't want things that were always bags and boxes and barcodes. I was raised with actually my mom made a lot of food from scratch. We didn't have a huge pantry growing up. And it's just that we still ate so much bread and so much ice cream and so much, of those things. But she just didn't know, right? We need things that feed our souls rather than suck us dry. We really do, Lynn. And it's been just a conversation for me for a long time. It's like we all have to really think about what it is that brings us joy, and I just wasn't willing to waste any more time. I'm 60 now. Like, how much more time am I going to waste not making money the way I want to make money, or not taking care of my body and feeling good? Yesterday, my body felt off yesterday, and I thought, what in the world? This is not me. I just was like a little taken aback because it doesn't happen very often. And I realized, I made a lot of homemade ice cream last couple of days, and it had a lot of cream in it. And I don't normally do that level of dairy. And I went, oh my gosh, I think that was too much cream. My body went, Wah. I thought, well, that's really strange because I've never paid attention to that because I just don't do that a lot. But wow. I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. So I woke up this morning, I'm like, I'm going for a walk. I'm going to get my lymphatic system moving. I didn't like that because I don't want to lose time. So you grew up on fried potatoes, beans, and wild game. You were poor. Yep. But you know what? Think about that though for just a second. If you're not insulin resistant, that's not the issue. My mom grew up on potatoes too, but so did her mom. And her mom was 97 without insulin resistance playing Scrabble. It is the level of sugar that we take in, the level of ultra processed foods that we eat in our society. It's the toxins, it's the stress. We see way too much news. We see way too many images. We slather obesogens all over our body all day long. We don't pay attention because we don't have maybe, whatever, we haven't paid attention to certain things. So we've layered this for sure, but you know what? Just because you're poor doesn't mean, or that you don't have a lot of resources, or doesn't mean that you're going to become insulin resistant. I think it's a standard American diet, and it's been proven over and over and over again that any country that has ever westernized themselves, they end up with diabetes all over the place. We've like mastered the template of how to become type 2 diabetic. We've mastered it, and then anytime we export it, we export diabetes with it. It's happened all over the place. There's a documentary on, and I'm going to show you about the trio. There's a documentary on, I don't remember if it's Prime Video, but it was, it's about a tribe in Australia that when they had a grocery store that opened up and all of the shelves got filled with everything that was just like your Walmart today, just like your grocery store today, everything is processed. Everything is bags, boxes, and barcodes. And they ended up then having to send doctors out to this Aboriginal tribe to help them deal with their diabetes because they were so sick. So we know how to create it, and we know how to export it, and we know how to medicate it because we're just all that in a bag of chips, right? So anyway, so I started with the trio, and I talk about this every single day because of, Patty says, because of me, there's hope. You're so sweet. When they first came out, all of my mom did was freezer queen meals. I know. And I think yeah. Back in the 90s, I ate a lot of frozen. We were whatever. Yep. I just did a lot. I did a lot. Thank you so much for all the likes. You guys are amazing, Cheryl. So, okay. So I started with the trio. I'm going to wrap up with this and I'll see you back again tomorrow at 11. These are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And the reason why they are so dang important is because if you don't get your insulin down and if you don't get your liver functioning, you just can't burn fat and you're frustrated. So that's the trio. And you can always message me and say you need information on the trio. Or if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, you can put the trio and I will get you information on that. I'll get you a cart. The second piece of what people have added in is, and I've been having a lot of questions recently about what this is because I do this in the morning, oftentimes in my stories, and it's my greens product. It's my gut primer. So you have to understand core root conversations around what you're talking about. Like if you're looking to get recalibrated between now and the first of the year, think about your gut. Think about your gut. Even if you just did the primer and added in a probiotic, think about your gut. Because if you can get recalibrated, think about how you will then process everything throughout the holiday season. It'll be huge. So those are kind of like the first 2 pillars. The last pillar, this is actually on back order for good reason. And so if it's on back order and they let you buy it, that means they're going to ship it out the second that it's available. And it is coming available like on the 22nd or something. So it's not whatever. But all of these put together, all 6 of these put together, this is the total body reset. All 6 of these is my hand is in the way. This is the total body reset, all of it. Okay. So I've just sectioned it off so that people can start in different ways. This is how I sourced things for me to make my body produce so that I could get the results. And I always say the biggest part of the conversation is not that I lost 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped. It's the fact that I kept it off, because you've got to finally once and for all be tired of not hitting the root issue, of not understanding the core conversation, so that you can now sail off into the sunset with like the key. The key is not another program. The key is not another marketing perfectly colored poster or Facebook ad that you see scrolling. It's not another try at another whatever. That's not the key. The key is going, oh, I'm insulin resistant. And as long as my insulin is high, I'll never burn fat. Got it. Noted. Oh, if my liver is sluggish and it's my fat metabolizing organ, I guess it doesn't matter if nobody's ever told me that before, but now I get it. Click, got it, noted. I'm going to work on those 2 things. And as long as I just do that, like for all of eternity, like I get to love the food that I eat. I get to move forward. I get to lose fat, and I don't have to sit and be scared in my brain. Well, you're just such a loser at losing weight. You're just going to gain it all back again. That's what you're going to do because you just can't quite keep off your weight. How many times have you been on a diet and you are mean girl in your head? Stop it. Stop being mean girl in your head and say, I finally have different information that I get to work with. I finally have something completely like this is a different concept. Like I'm going to go root cause this time, and I'm going to have no shame, and I'm going to be nice to myself, and I'm going to tell myself I can do it. And the one that's out of, I will send you guys information, Penny and Deborah. This one is the visceral fat chaser. You need to know that because insulin resistance lays down fat It's a fat storing hormone, is insulin, but the fat is the visceral fat. It's the dangerous fat. And that's the fat that you don't want in your liver, around your organs, around your intestines. You want that to go away because that's what's keeping inflammation so high in your body. It literally is alive. It emits inflammation, it emits hormones, and you wonder why you're still just like hamster on a wheel, chasing. And it's because you've got something that's happening inside of your body that's just, it's kind of like that, what is that when you're in a submarine? It's like beep, 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 sonar. It's like beep, 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 emitting hormones and inflammation. And you're like, why can't I get on top of this? Well, let's deal with the visceral fat. So this tastes like orange candy, just like when you were a little kid, orange pixie stick. Put it on your tongue. If you exercise, if you work out, this is created as a pre-workout. You can take that ahead of time and you actually will feel the heating up of your body. Now, I don't take it and feel like my body getting all hot, but if you're exercising with it, because it is a thermogenic, it is a clinical dose of a thermogenic that will literally, I'm going to say it in layman's terms, might not be the best way to say it, so it's my opinion. It's literally going to heat up your fat cells and go, pshh, pshh. And that's why people lose all these inches. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Joyce, it is the orange pixie stick. It's this one right here. And this is the one where when they launched this, I wasn't sure about it. And now I have so many testimonies, I don't know what to do with myself. So I can send you just that one if you want to. And again, if I could look on the internet, I would, and I would tell you, actually, I probably could do it up here. But as we wrap this up, I know that a confused mind does nothing. And I know that I do throw a lot of information at you. And so I always want people, I want you to be given permission. Let me see if it's so it's on back order. The expected availability is September 22nd. It is not available in Canada. I apologize. What is available in Canada, and I have a Canadian link for you, is the trio. Okay. And I have a Canadian link for you, and the probiotic. So it's available on the 22nd. So what happens is somebody goes and they're like, I want to know about the total body reset because I want the results that Megda got over the last year. I want the results that Claudette got, where she, or, oh my gosh, I have so many people. She's 74 and lost 45 pounds in 5 months. Terry lost 49 pounds. She's 62. Megda had her fatty liver go from bad to mild and her A1C drop, and she lost like 6 inches here, 5 inches here, 3 inches here. Like, I could just go on and on and on. And that's the total body reset. You would purchase it and they would back order that one product, and they would say, see, when it's temporarily not available, you can't buy it. When it's back ordered, you can still buy it, and then they'll ship it immediately when it's available. I hope that makes sense. But I think that the biggest part of it is, and I will take 30 seconds on this. There are a lot of you that are thinking, I would like to try something different, but I've tried so many. I had somebody just recently say to me, you basically, you have no idea what I've spent over the last 2 years. And I do get that. Wendy, I see that. I get that. And I appreciate that a lot. And I've been doing this for a long time now, 14 years. And so that's probably a big reason why I come online, because then I can walk journey with people and I can actually, like, I'll be here again tomorrow, unless anything happens that precludes that. But we've been doing this for 1.5 years is my point. And there's a 6-month guarantee on all the products. And there's not one company out there that offers that. There's nobody that offers a 6-month guarantee. Also, they have a customer campaign that if you go on and you register with your name, you have to be a registered customer, and you purchase 150 3 months in a row. And for any of you that are already doing this, don't forget, like, it's the 17th of the month today, right? Is it the 17th or the 18th? It's the 18th, I think. I don't know. But, before the month ends, don't miss out if you're already on the train. But when you do 150, 150, 150, let's do it this way. 150, 150, 150, you get $75 off on that 3rd month. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody's paying you for your wellness journey. You can't use your HSA. You can't submit this to insurance. Where's the break? Where's the break? Who's paying you for a wellness journey, right? Well, what happens is you literally could do September, October, November, and cash in November, right in the middle of the Christmas season when you're feeling like it would be nice that you didn't have to have, that you could have a little extra in your pocket, you can earn that back. So they just take it right off your cart. So you can go here we are, the last half of September, anytime in October, it doesn't matter when, and anytime in November. You could literally do September, October, and then the 1st of November and get that off. I mean, that's like you could condense that time so that within 40 days, you're already getting that $75. However, you want to make that look for you. But the point is that like, I don't know who's paying you for that wellness journey. And that's a really big deal. And there are a lot of people who you reach out to me and you're like, I'm on my 3rd round, because you can do it again and again and again. And now you at least feel like you have control over the customization of what you're trying to accomplish. And you finally feel like you are able to tweak and do the things that you need because you have somebody like me that you can ask questions to. And you can be like, okay, this isn't like this over here. I'm wondering about this. And should I then do this? And should I? Perfect. Let's tweak it. Because do you think that I never had to tweak my routine? Do you think that I never had to tweak my food? Of course I did. But now I stand on my own and I don't need as much figuring things out all the time. But that's just because I've learned a few, tricks in my pantry, and I've identified my own triggers and what bothers me and what, how I want to reward myself and all of the things, because we have all of the stuff in our brains. This is the hard part. I tell people all the time, this is not the hard part. The daily supplementation, this is easy. This is the hard part. This is the hard part, the emotional connection. This is not hard. I thought it was going to be because I wasn't a supplementer, but it's not. But you need somebody to walk journey with you for the rest of it. You need somebody to say, no, you're doing way better than you thought you were. Keep going. You're healing. You don't have the same expectation of your body that other programs do. We're not trying to do like the Biggest Loser for ratings on TV here. We're trying to get you to get healed so you turn it around and you never go back, because now you understand. I hope that makes sense. So if you need anything at all, always reach out. Messenger, Instagram, all of the things. And I'd be more than happy to walk journey with you. And I'm going to get off and I'm going to go answer people, and I'll send you guys like information on everything that you just asked about. And then I'll see you back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I hope you have an incredible, incredible day. All right. Donna, let's see. What are the daily supplement pills? What do you mean, like just in general, or do you mean like what I was just talking about, Donna? Let me know, because then I'm going to jump off and chat with you. I will do that. I'll jump off and chat, and then I can answer and get you whatever you're looking for. So, all right. And I'm going to work on my banner today so that you'll know the dates for the free challenge in October. I'm going to do it. I promise I'm going to do it. I'll do it right away this morning. So, all right. See you guys later. Yep. Perfect. You keep putting that down there, and I'll see it as I jump off, and I'll get you, and I'll do the trio for you as well. All right. See you guys later.